Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. 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 Hello and welcome to my affordable watch collection.
Many of us watch enthusiasts dream of creating our own watch. We imagine that if we could just bring our ideas to life and figure out the process of turning them into reality, then we could make the perfect watch that our fellow enthusiasts would appreciate and want to have on their wrists. I think this feeling intensifies when you're a watch reviewer. You're constantly exposed to different designs and different approaches to watchmaking, and you also get to talk to a lot of micro-brand owners, who actually took the plunge and made their own watches. It really puts a lot of what-ifs and I can do it too's in your mind. Even with my small channel, having handled hundreds of watches over the past 5 years, I can't say I haven't toyed with the idea myself. And indeed, in the last few years we have seen quite a few reviewers crossing the line from content creators to brand owners, leveraging their accumulated knowledge and experience as well as their recognition and reputation. Possibly the most prolific watch reviewer in the world right now is Jody of Just One More Watch. A Scotsman living in Australia, Jody has become one of the most recognizable faces in the watch community, and something of a guru when it comes to affordable watches. I don't think there's anyone else on YouTube that has reviewed as many watches as Jody did, sticking to a strict 3 reviews a week schedule for the past 8 years. About 2 years ago, Jody teamed up with fellow Aussie watch lover Stephen Parker, also known as the mysterious Mr. P in the watch community, to form Erebus watches. The Ascent line is the brand's second big release after the Origin Diver, aiming to be the perfect GADA, go anywhere, do anything sports watch. After watching Jody's release video for the Ascent back in April, FOMO kicked in and I had to have one for myself. After much deliberation, I picked the black Helix on a J-style bracelet. Before I get to the available colorways, I want to talk about a psychological concept that I think is very relevant here, but also for other Erebus models as well. The paradox of choice is a concept which suggests that while having choices is generally a good thing, having too many choices can actually lead to dissatisfaction, anxiety, and indecision. The more options people have, the harder it is to feel confident and satisfied with their decision. This can lead to regret, wondering if another choice would have been better, decision fatigue, and ultimately, stress or inaction. We'll talk a bit more about this later on. No less than 12 different dials were available for you to choose from at the time the Ascent was released. There were different colors, patterns, and materials, and to add to your dilemma even more, there were also 2 different bracelet types you had to choose from. If you look at the Erebus website now, you'll notice that some of the dials are gone, with the black Helix being one of them. There are currently 8 different dial options, with the price ranging from $449 to $499. The watch comes in a padded and branded hard case that can store 2 watches. You get 3 plastic cards with your watch, a thank you card with Jody and Steven on the back, a hello card with some instructions on the back, and a signed 2 years international warranty card. Besides that, you get a branded microfiber cleaning cloth, and there's a bunch of other Erebus branded merchandise you can order separately. Here are the measurements. The width of the case is 39mm, its thickness is 11mm, the distance between the lugs is 20mm, with the bracelet tapering down to 16 at the clasp. Lug tip to lug tip is 45.5mm, and with 4 links removed to fit my wrist, the watch weighs 118 grams. Water resistance is 100 meters, the perfect number for a daily wear sports watch. So as I mentioned, this is the black Helix dial. It has a spiral gear shape pattern that if you look closely, you'll notice is made up of many little Erebus logos. If we go from the outside in, we'll find a black rehaut ring with a white minute track printed on it, followed by a set of applied indices on the dial itself. These are long and faceted trapezoids filled with luminescent material. The 12 o'clock index is doubled for distinction, and the 6 o'clock one is shortened to make room for a date complication window, framed with a faceted metal frame. The date wheel itself is color matched to the dial. Under the 12 o'clock index we find the highly polished Erebus logo applied, followed by the name debossed and painted white. Above the 6 o'clock position we find the model's name written in cursive font and the water resistance. The hands are dolphin styled, but they're not your regular dolphin style hands. The hour and minute hands are highly polished and multifaceted, with sort of snip tips and centers full of lume. The seconds hand has a lume teardrop shaped counterbalance, a unique little detail. The hands are done very well in terms of both the design and the quality of manufacturing. Jody loves his lume, and the Ascent definitely reflects that. BGW9 Super Luminova was used to illuminate the hands and indices after dark. The lume is good, the distribution is nice and even, and it stays visible for a good few hours. Covering the dial is a sapphire crystal with clear anti-reflective coating. It is double domed, but its domeness is so subtle it almost looks like a flat crystal. The case is made of 316L stainless steel. The finishing is very nice. It is brushed on the tops of the lugs and polished on the fixed bezel and the faceted sides of the case. The side profile is slim and it gently curves towards the ends of the lugs, which together with the relatively short lug-to-lug distance is going to make the watch wear great on the wrist, as we're about to see in a moment. The crown at the 3 o'clock position is slightly recessed into the side of the case. It screws down, gnarled for good grip, and signed on its polished top. The case back too screws down into place and features yet another Erebus logo, a really big one sculpted into the center on a grainy background. You'll also find some of the watch's specs laser etched around the logo. The Ascent collection is powered by a Japanese Miyota 9015. It is part of Miyota's line of thin, premium automatic movements. It sports 24 joules, beats at a high beat rate of 28,800 beats per hour, has 42 hours of power reserve once fully wound, features a Miyota PowerShock shock protection system, hacking and hand-winding abilities, and a stated accuracy of -10 to +30 seconds per day. The J-style bracelet seemed like the right choice to go with the Helix dial. It is a sturdy and hefty bracelet, constructed of solid links as well as solid end links. Each row contains 5 individual links. The outer links are brushed on top and polished on their sides. The inner ones are polished, and the links are held together with screws. The end links feature proper female middle links that make the watch wear true to its size. And if you flip the watch around, you'll see that they also feature quick release spring bars that will help you take the bracelet off and put it back on with ease and without having to use any tools. This is an awesome feature that I wish we'd see more brands use. The clasp is truly magnificent. It is brushed on top and polished on its chamfered edges, and again signed with Erebus's name and logo. It is a fully milled fold-over clasp with a double pusher security system. Its real selling point though is an on-the-fly adjustment system that works extremely well. As your wrist naturally swells and shrinks throughout the day, having a flexible clasp like this is a very convenient thing to have. On wrist, this is where it all comes together and translates into a great wearing experience, as anyone who owns an Ascent would tell you. This is just a watch that is fun and comfortable to wear. The combination between the proportions and the curve of the case and the beautifully articulating bracelet make the watch hug your wrist very well. The ability to micro-adjust the bracelet throughout the day is comfortable beyond words. It just looks great on wrist, and it's truly a watch you can wear anywhere you go. Legibility is okay, other than the seconds hand that tends to disappear when something dark is reflecting off of it. The hour and minute hands contrast well against the background of the dial, and I haven't experienced any difficulty telling the time. Here are a couple of different strap options from the strap packs Erebus offers. I think they look great, but the watch just looks best on the bracelet in my opinion. The pros and cons section of today's video is more of a pros and more pros kind of deal. This is one of the best sports watches I've ever experienced at any price point. And I mean, what's not to like here? It's a great looking, great wearing watch. It is finished to a very high standard, has a workhorse high beat automatic movement made in Japan, a scratch resistant and AR coated sapphire crystal, a beautiful dial, a nice set of hands, applied indices, a great stainless steel bracelet with quick release and on-the-fly adjustment that I find myself using all the time, and adequate water resistance ratings. The lume is great too, and while I usually prefer a no-date dial, the way the date window is integrated into the dial at the 6 o'clock position and with a matching color date wheel makes the dial look symmetrical and balanced. You can tell that this watch was designed by people who know their way around watches. It's a well thought out watch with great attention to detail that honestly looks and feels much more expensive than it is. I genuinely tried hard to find anything to complain about, but I couldn't. My friend, who bought the purple Helix Ascent, had the same experience. We even teamed up to nitpick, and the only thing we both agreed on was that the clasp feels a bit bulky compared to the head of the watch. But honestly, that's a minor gripe, as the clasp itself is excellent. If I had chosen the O-style bracelet, I could complain about the protruding male middle links of the end links. But knowing that that is something I dislike, I simply didn't choose it. With that said, going back to the point I made in the beginning of the video, the paradox of choice is real. There's always going to be that lingering thought in the back of my mind, wondering if I made the right decision going for the black Helix. Most of the times I look at it and absolutely love it. But other times, I wonder if I should have gone with one of the other 10,000 dial variations. And that's not a very nice feeling to have. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of this video. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about the Erebus Ascent down in the comment section below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my affordable watch collection, and hit the notification bell for more affordable watches related content. If you've enjoyed this video, you might enjoy one of these too as well. I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.
Hello and welcome to my affordable watch collection. Doesn't sound quite right, does it?